Sometimes we want to add space inside of something or outside. So padding is the interior space that we can add. Think of it like bubble wrap. So in this instance here, I have this text, and I don't want it touching the sides of this background color because it makes things a lot harder to read. So this is an H1 that I have here. What I can do then is add some padding. So let's say padding 20px. Now, as a note with padding, there are different varieties of measurements that you can use, like EM and percentages, and px for pixels, kind of like when you set a width to something in pixels. For myself, I typically only use px or percentages. Other websites might use something else. For the purposes of instruction, I'm just going to stick with px for the moment. Now when I click in here, it updates, and we can see that it has added 20 pixels of space all the way around, top, bottom, left, and right. If I only wanted it to be on one area, say I wanted to move something over only on the left, I can say padding dash left. So then when I update it, it removes the padding from the top and bottom. Now the background color stretches all the way across this little page here. However, that means you can't see that there's some space. I can change this then to top, and it will only add space to the top. I could add it to the right. Now here's the tricky bit. You can't actually see that right now because this is left justified, this text. It's not actually pushing away from the right side. And the way the background colors work, it stretches it all the way across the page. But if I say text align right, now you can see that it is in fact pushing away from there, so I could add some more, and you can see it adds more space. You can add others too, padding top 5px. So you can add more than one, and sometimes you'll need to. In this particular case though, honestly, you could probably just set the padding, take out the other ones. Actually, this is a good point to point out. I have padding set here to affect all of the sides, but the way cascading style sheets work, I would need to delete these things because the style sheet cascades down. So it says, okay, padding 50 pixels all the way around, but you want the top to only be 5 and the bottom to be 55. It's overriding that top area there. So I'm going to delete these. Now we're back to 50 pixels all the way around. Margin then adds space to the exterior. So in this case, just for purposes of showing you, I'm going to say margin bottom 100px semicolon. Now that this is pushed down all of this by adding this margin to the bottom. Notice that it doesn't add anything to the interior, it's only to the exterior of this. We're going to learn some more about this later, but just so that you can kind of mess with some of the settings on your page, I thought it would be very helpful for you to know this.